left my boots and my faded jeans in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and swapped them for a coat and tie and someplace else to go. I had days that were laced with white lines on narrow blacktop roads, with honky-tonks so rhymed each day in drunken episodes. Those flashing lights and them busted fists and winning with no name, and mornings past the night before I learned to play the game. Then one night I was peeling labels on empty bottles of beer.
Hey, oh God, that probably blew your ears. Hey, good evening, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, saints and sinners. Welcome to the late Saturday night at church. So I was experiencing some audio problems, and it took a while to troubleshoot. I won't give you the details, but needless to say, apparently you've got to change your USB cables every once in a while. So we've got a, good night tonight. It's Saturday. I don't have to get up tomorrow morning at any reasonable time, so let's just go ahead with the show, see what happens. I'm around, you're around. What the heck? Yeah, thanks, JK Pioneer. I'll tell you I would tell you the ugly story, but it was ugly.
She stripped me bare and read my heart like it was an open book. I tried to lie.
I hope you all have served yourself an adult beverage so that you can forgive me my faux pas.
To bring back Sunday morning rides and sunsets by the stream, and old grass beds we made love in, and dreamed our silly dreams. I drank her words like they were wine and looked into her eyes. She turned her head and walked away, made me realize the longest days and the darkest nights were more than I could face. The only thing that I could do would leave that lonesome place. But she played memories, the kind that leave romance to me. The dark rhapsodies, the midnight rendezvous. Yeah, she played memories of songs that made me blue, sweet soft melodies that took me back to you. Took me back to you. Took me back to you.
Yeah, okay. I hope that wasn't as loud for you as it was for me, because it blew my eardrums out. So, long, ugly story tonight. Didn't have any audio, and in order to lose audio like that, and it wasn't all the audio. It was the audio that was coming out of the Rodecaster. So you had to do a whole troubleshooting thing, and in the process, I had to reset the defaults on the Rodecaster. So that means I lost all my when you reset it to default. I lost all my sound effects, so I don't have ka-ching, housekeeping. So if you do a super chat tonight, forgive me, I won't be able to well, of course I'll recognize you. So what, I don't even know what it is now. Knock, knock, knock. Housekeeping, you want towels? Of course you want towels. You want towels because towels are important. Make sure that before you leave tonight, as painful as it has been a night, you like this video. YouTube likes it when you like this video. And honestly, tonight, I'm going to like it if you like this video. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social network so that we can continue to grow this channel. It's a fun channel to grow. And then finally, if you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe now. When you see that notifications bell pop up, click the notifications bell, and that way every time we start or pretend to start a live stream, you'll be informed. You'll be immediately informed. Of course, you'll be in the know. And there's nothing better, brothers and sisters, than being in the know, no matter how bad the know is. So thanks for joining me tonight. We're going to play some jazz. I do want to say a couple of things. So let me get this taken care of first. First, we have screenshot. We have 143 responses to the AGK 2020 survey, Fenn Searcher 2020 Fenn Searcher. Dang nabbit, 2020 Fenn Treasure Searcher Survey. And I've only had this little thing to drink. Searcher survey. So if you haven't already filled it out, please take a moment to fill it out. My target number is 300, a minimum of 300. We're about halfway there, and we're a little more than halfway through the month. So I would appreciate it greatly if you would take a moment, and that's all. It takes less than 3 minutes. All right. And I'll put a link to that in the chat room right now. There's the link. All right. So go do that survey. 3 minutes. And I will give you some love. And I don't often give out love, so I'm very stingy with my love. Well, okay, maybe I have had too much to drink. Tonight's beverage of choice is Wild Turkey American Honey. It's almost a liqueur. It's so thick and sweet, you can just enjoy it. And if you want to make yourself a mixed drink with it, add it to some Dr. Pepper. Oh, to die for. And if I had some, I would. The problem is the only I have some regular Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, but it's the kind with caffeine. And if I were to drink it now, I'd be up all night. So there. Let's play some music, and then I'll check out the room, see what's going on. I've got some jazz for you tonight. And I'm going to start from the bottom of the list. Let's see. So this is Home for the Holidays? What? That doesn't make any damn sense. Home for the Holidays. All right, we're going to go up there. This is Mi Boriquen. Looks Spanish to me. Doug Maxwell and Jimmy Fontanez. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to watch my audio here. Pretty. If I blow out some of these things, just give me a chance because I've got to go to adjust everything back to the beginning. So you're kind of the trial tonight. So if it blows out your ears, let me know real quick so I can fix it. Did I see Jason Dent? That can't be the real Jason Dent. That's not his. So Jason Dent, the person who claims to be Jason Dent, who actually are you? Because that's not Jason Dent's avatar. And unless you did you change your? Let me go find out who that really is, and then I'll come back and say hi to the room. Let's see who you are, Jason Dent. Let's see. Well, I don't know. We'll have to worry about it later. Jason Dent. All right, let me say hi to you folks. Who's in the room for the second time of the night? I appreciate you guys coming back. James Casey's in the room. Fenn. Joey Perro. Hey, Joey. Wow. What is it? Well, it's not too bad. You're a New Yorker. 11 o'clock. Joey. Fenn. Already said that. JK Pioneer. Joe Sheeran. One of our mods, the Sassy 1962. Sonny. James Bailey, I already said that too, didn't I? James Bailey, Daniel Burke. I wonder if he's from Albuquerque. Captain Marvel's in the room. Fenn has had a kilt lifter. That's got to be an interesting damn drink. It's probably got scotch in it, don't you think? Sassafras CMT, always last line in the room. Andre, Fenn. You know what I promised to do? I was going to call the MTP and see what she's up to. It's very loud, yeah. Yeah, I've got to adjust everything because everything went out of kitty whacker when I did this, and I lost all my. So I did get the only thing I got back was the music for my intro, my Saturday night intro. Mungo Jerry Hooley, another one of our mods, as you can tell by the big blue wrench. Let me see. Mungo Jerry, Covert Ones in the room. Zozo Rocks. Yeah, personally, I'm glad I waited until Alone Together special ended. Good time. Okay. Well, that wasn't necessarily intentional, but thanks anyway. Stacy, you missed 2 hours worth of dead airtime because I was working on my system. It literally, so whenever you have a problem like this, especially when it's unexpected, I mean, we used this yesterday, we used it all week, we made no changes to anything. But you have to go through this troubleshooting process, and the process includes not only the hardware, like the Rodecaster Pro itself, but the software that we use to communicate, OBS. So you got to go through this whole thing. And I reduced it to the point where I realized that the output, so I had output. If I played like Crazy Birds, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. So if I played Crazy Birds, I could hear the audio and I could see that you could hear it, or the audience would hear the audio. And so over about an hour and a half of troubleshooting, my last choice was the connection from the Rodecaster from what Mike calls the soundboard, which is what they used to call it in the old days. It's now a digital audio interface. So the way that the Rodecaster that has all these controls, all the sound effects and etc. talks to the computer is through a USB cable. So the first thing that I did is I tried it on the computer. I think I have in our workstation, we've got 8 USB ports. And so I had to try it on each one of those. It didn't work. And there's only one USB output on the Rodecaster. And so that reduced it to testing the cable. And what happened sometime between yesterday when Shelly and I used it last to make a video, to make a recording for the Sales Leaders Institute channel, somewhere between yesterday and the time that I started tonight, that cable went bad. And so I replaced it and everything worked fine. But in the process, I had done a lot of messing around. So I had to get everything back to normal. And the one thing I can't get back to normal until I'm actually playing these things is what they sound like to you guys. So there may be a couple of moments tonight where it's a little bit loud. It's not intended to be. Mojito music, that's kind of what it sounded like, didn't it? So again, welcome tonight, Davio22. Let me see, who else did I miss? Lorraine S. Hi. Let me see, Davio. So I imagine we're going to have a relatively small audience tonight because most people are accustomed to coming on at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We're at 11:15 now Eastern Time, so I imagine those folks are probably off doing something else. So, but I did promise the MTP that I would call her and see how she was doing. And also, I need to test this audio as well. So let's give her a call. See what she's doing. That's not too loud. I hope you guys can hear it. Tell me if you can hear the ring and all that. Yeah, bad USB cable.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing better than I was at 7:15.
So what was the problem?
A bad USB cable.
Oh, well, you traded it out, you said.
No, that's what I did. I had to trade it out. I didn't have a choice. That was my last option here because I went through everything else. OSB, all the the myriad of our audio controls on in OSB. Then I went to Windows to see if there was a problem there, and I was reduced to it's a cable. The hardware's working, the computer's working, OBS is working. It's got to be the cable, and it was.
Well, did you run over it with the chair or something? What happened to it between last night and tonight?
You know what? That's exactly what I said to the viewers just a few minutes ago. Whatever happened between when we used it last night to produce that SLI video and when I got on at 7 o'clock.
We did a Gypsy's Kiss last night, and it was fine.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. That's right. The last thing we did last night was a Gypsy's Kiss, right up until 9 o'clock, right? So,
yeah.
Anyway, how's your day been?
Oh, just a day.
Just a day.
nothing too exciting.
And did you get out your 5 journals? You're doing 5 or 7 journals on the softer side?
I just do one a day.
So 7 a week, huh?
Yeah, every day, 11 o'clock.
I forget that they come on at 11 o'clock, so I don't always get to see. I usually play them later, but I put you on the big screen, and then I just kind of do my house stuff while you're talking in the background. So brings my spirits up.
Just in the background. Huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do. If something eventually comes up that says, "Oh, she's talking to me," so I sit down. When you start talking about stuff that I know are my weaknesses, it always sounds like you're very politely, you're not using my name or anything, but I say to myself, you know what? That was directed at me. I can tell. You
would think that.
That's because I'm narcissistic enough to believe that you're always talking about me. Yeah, I guess.
Once in a while, I talk about you.
Yeah.
I mentioned you yesterday.
Was it good or bad?
Just Heather Dawn was asking how you were.
Oh, I did see that. As a matter of fact, I saw the Facebook version of it, and so I commented, letting everybody know. I think she was worried that, I'm a high risk for this coronavirus thing, but I've been behaving myself, taking care of myself. So.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
We wouldn't let you do anything else.
Oh, Mel says, let's not forget the bombing in OKC 25 years ago. So that's really weird. This is also the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. So we have two anniversaries today.
Oh, was it Earth Day today?
Yeah, it was. Did you not celebrate?
And we all celebrated by staying inside and letting the Earth be.
Right, leaving the Earth alone. And the Earth apparently is doing really good through this period since the carbon dioxides are down.
You know why?
We're not driving.
Because we're the virus.
Yeah, as far as the Earth is concerned, it's okay for a virus to kill us off, because for the Earth, that would be the best thing that could happen to it. It's just go back to normal.
The virus it's antibiotics.
Yeah. Well, it's what's funny is if you know a little bit about geologic history, and the fact that there have been several places in geologic history where everything was killed off for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mass
Yep.
mass extinctions. There's been
Mm-hmm.
5 of them that are identifiable, and in one case, the 4th mass extinction, 90% of the animal life of the creatures on the surface of the planet and in the water were made extinct.
Right.
But what happens is the Earth always comes back, and it makes a whole
Reset.
new, it does a reset, and the next thing you know, dinosaurs are, and then of course, 65 million years ago, it did the same thing to the dinosaurs. That asteroid strike down in the Yucatan, and then it all comes back again.
Yep.
So
leave the Earth alone. It's
anyway,
good on its own.
yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
pretty
need
good.
us to mess everything up.
Yeah. So the memories of the bombing at Oklahoma City and 50 years ago, Earth Day. As a matter of fact, I don't know whether I told you, but Janet sent me an email a couple of weeks ago saying that she had written an editorial piece on behalf of the memory of the remembrance of the 50th anniversary, and she asked if I would edit it, and I made a couple of changes. It was very well, as usual. Janet's a brilliant
Well, she's a
writer.
writer.
Yeah, she really is.
She wrote a book.
Yeah, she did. So what do we got coming up this week, assuming everything stays in place and we don't have any more technical glitches?
Well, then we've got COVID conversations on Monday night.
Yeah.
If all goes well.
Yeah.
We can catch up from last week, and we have a student on Monday.
Oh, for a Sales Leaders Institute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to those conversations. That'll be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Member Vault Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
And then
Member
what else?
Vault.
And then a Gypsy's Kiss. You've got your softer side every day at 11 o'clock.
That's right.
What's the average length of those shows? Are you going a long time or just keeping it?
15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Or less.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 15 minutes.
And then AGK.
Depends on if anybody shows up to talk to in the chat room.
Yeah. So are you multi-streaming that to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously?
YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope.
Oh, you are. Are you getting any traction, any response on Periscope? It's you can never tell whether that thing's alive.
One time I did. One day I did, and people showed up and said stuff. And other than that, not really. But I've gotten a few new followers on Twitter from it.
So
who've been retweeting it? So
is that the free or paid version of Restream.io?
That's the free one.
So you're going to go to 3 channels if you're doing the free one? Why did we pay? Why did we pay for the paid one?
I don't know. Why did we? Because we were thinking of helping, letting other people put it on their YouTube at the same time, multi-streaming to YouTube.
Oh, that was it. That's why you get the paid version. So you can do 2 YouTube, or you can do up to.
I wasn't ending up using it, so I got rid of it.
Yeah.
But I just have to share it when I open it up. I have to share it to my pages and my group, and then it's all good to go. And I do a watch party and send it out.
We should tell everybody in the room that Shelley and I decided to start giving away our Udemy course on live streaming, on how to successfully live stream, et cetera, et cetera. And so sometime we've got to set up a page for it. So sometime next week we'll make it available. And if you guys want the live stream, of course, it's got a lot of material, and it's got 22 hours worth of video.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of walkthrough and
a lot of walkthrough, sheets, forums, checklists. So it's a really good course. We're going to be doing some more Udemy courses. So we thought we'd start giving this one away for free. We've made as much money as we expect in the first year. So we'll start giving it away next week. Just keep an eye out. We'll be able to make an announcement where you can go get the coupon or how you get the coupon, and then we'll start giving it away, so you guys can, if you guys want to get, get to the point where you want to do high quality live streaming, not just a YouTube stream, but backgrounds, OBS, overheads, all that other stuff. We'll explain how to do that. I'm not good doing it. All right.
Next week on SLI, we'll have Tom on Wednesday and Gus on Friday.
Right. So we're doing interviews on Sales Leaders Institute, and we're picking, we wanted to pick people that were in sales and marketing, but it's especially important because the people that are in sales and marketing are stuck with this thing where they have to stay home. And so we've been picking people who are still in sales and marketing but working from home. And one of them happens to be my son-in-law, Tom McGarry, and the other happens to be Shelley's son-in-law, Gus.
We're doing the sons-in-law this week.
Yeah, sons-in-law this week. So Gus, I'll mess up his last name. It's Bonveri?
Yes.
Okay, well, good. I finally learned how to pronounce it after all this time. So they're both working from home and continuing. In Gus's case, they just started a new business. So their timing was really interesting. Tom works for a firm. He's the chief technical officer for a firm called Market Hardware, which is where he and my daughter Ryan met. So we'll have them on Sales Leaders Institute this week.
And Gus has his own web development business.
Right. He's a web developer, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the company again?
Passion Fruit Web Dev.
Right.
Web development. Passion Fruit Web development. Okay. Yeah, and design or something like that.
Well, keep an eye out for him. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Sales Leaders Institute, please subscribe. There's some really interesting interviews, especially at this particular time. Okay, well, I know you guys were doing some Netflix, so I will not bug you anymore. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All
righty, sounds good.
Anything else? Am I missing anything?
Nope.
All right.
Okay.
And tell Kevin that my sprinklers are now working consistently. It makes me happy because my grass is getting green again.
Hooray.
So let him know and thank him for that.
Yes, I will.
I owe you guys a dinner once we can go out to dinner again. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Magical Treasure Princess, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we got any voicemails. Oh, we do have a voicemail. Wait. So if you want to communicate with me, I always say us, but tonight it's with me, you can send a text message to the number right below my chin, 202-815-1171. You can, at this time, since I've got the phone lines off, call and leave a voicemail of up to, I think it's 3 minutes. I think Marilyn tested that. So you can leave a voicemail of up to 3 minutes. You can, of course, also reach out in the chat. And what it'll make it easier for me is if you precede your question or comment with an @ Gypsy's Kiss, and that way it highlights it for me in the ever and rapidly moving chat flow of the chat room. So let me see. This is from Joey Perry. He says, "Hey Toby, I wanted to ping you again on the banco definition. Be an interesting thing to share tonight, especially definition number 3. When applied to my father on the banco. Remember, his father is the principal." So he sent me a Merriam-Webster dictionary. I guess I'm going to have to look that up. And OKC bombing was 419-418. Okay, thank you for letting us know. I was just, somebody in the room mentioned it. And I do want to thank Mel Rustad for that super chat. I can't give you a ka-ching because it's no longer on my device. I have to get all those recordings now on my device, but I did notice it, Mel. And Mel, I also got the letter that you sent. I appreciate that. We'll bring that up on Wednesday, all right? Because I want to do phone calls. Well, let's go back to this, and we do have a call from our friend Maryland. Not Maryland with a D, Maryland. So let me just take a look at that real quick, see what it sounds like. Ta-ta. Ooh, this was a lot. She really did use all 3 minutes here.
Hi, it's me, Marilyn. I have some very exciting news for you. And so that hopefully you will listen to what I have to say, I'm going to start unraveling the poem. I believe I've been instructed to do that. I'm going to give you the first few clues, and there are thousands of clues in there. It's like everything is essential. I'm going to start out by giving you what that special word is that's going to unlock this poem. That special word is IT. IT. What in the world does that stand for? It stands for triangle. Isosceles 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 triangle And with that triangle that you're going to place on your map, you're going to find the treasure, okay? Well, how do we do that? What does that mean? Okay, here we go. I need to tell you some of these things just so you will listen to what I have to say after this. And then, hey, I have a surprise for you. I can give you entertainment. I'm not all heavy loads and water high. Okay, I'm getting a little more comfortable. It's very hard, for me to speak, but I have a really special thing to tell Toby, and that's about the 369. It's really, really interesting. I mean, I get the left side. I get the right side of the brain interpretation, which is the triangle. You're going to get the left side of the brain, which is the 3069, and has to do with degrees. And it's really exciting. And I'm sure you'll understand it more than me, because I really don't understand it all. But we receive information for what we can understand, and you have a greater understanding. And I want to say, Toby, thank you. You asked me the question of the day. My life has changed so much in the last few days since I talked to you. When you asked me, how does this relate to the COVID virus? What are you talking about? And I'm thinking, doesn't even start to. Because I'm thinking, when I did this medical research on my own, this was years ago. And I never realized what it was, or really how it was going to manifest itself into reality. I had no idea. But it's a puzzle that's really incredible. So thank you for asking me that. And Shelley, you did a wonderful job of being intuitive and interpreting some of those things. And it was really good. What you're doing on this, putting your videos together, you're really good at that. So anyway, I just want to share with that to start with, but then I get it. Okay, I don't know if I'm getting cut off here or not. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about, I don't know the search community.
Yep. So when you leave a voicemail, it'll give you up to 3 minutes. So you're going to have to be nimble on your feet if you want to get it all in 3 minutes. So certainly, she certainly has made the transition from someone who's not comfortable with the on-air experience to someone who is comfortable with the on-air experience. Oh, Shelley made a gift for us. Hang on. Let me show you. It's kind of cute. It's what happens when this woman has time. So some people pronounce this GIF, other people pronounce it GIF, but she made one for us. So here, it'll just, it loops. So here you go. It doesn't have any audio. She's a riot, isn't she? So, did I ever play the intro? I think I did. So, what's happening? I don't know how many of you guys know about the Warrior Forum. The Warrior Forum is a forum that consists mostly of, I want to say, younger people. I would say the average age in the forum is probably 30. But they're all experts in one way or another at what I'd call digital marketing, right? So when you see an invitation on your Facebook page to take a webinar on a particular subject, that's one of these digital marketeers, and they're very good at it. But in addition to being experts at that, they've developed a good deal of software that really makes a difference in digital marketing. And one piece of software, for example, is a piece of software that enables you to make videos that are suitable for Facebook and or Instagram. And the first thing you have to do with those videos is they have to be square. They can't be the letter, what's referred to the 16:9 format that you're seeing on the screen right now. Anyway, ever since the pandemic has affected the economy, they put a bunch of products, each of these guys put a bunch of their products on sale, and usually they're hundreds of dollars, and they were putting them on sale, which tells you kind of what their real value is, I suppose, for tens to small hundreds of dollars. Like it was I think the most expensive one I bought was $127. Anyway, I bought a bunch of these products in the past, I don't know. I probably spent around $1,500 on forum products that if I had bought any other time would have cost me $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000. And one of them was this tool that helps you develop the kind of short advertising videos real quickly that you can do a number of things with. And one of the things that you can do with it is you can make GIFs. So yesterday afternoon, Shelley and I were doing a number of things, and one of the things that I wanted to be aware of was all these products that I had purchased, and one of them was this video product. And she played with it this morning and came back with that little Toby and Shelley GIF, which I thought was really cute. So, Warrior Forum, if you guys are into digital marketing for any reason, that's where you go. And it's been there as long as, so I was probably made aware of digital marketing. I suppose the first time I started using it for any of my clients was back in the 90s. And so it's come a long way, but that's how far back this Warrior Forum goes. And if you ever want to build an online presence for the purpose of marketing either services or products, you should join the Warrior Forum. There's a fee. There's a kind of front end forum. And then the back end forum will cost you, I think it's $97 a year, but it's worth everything if that's your field and your interest. Hi, Sarah. How are you tonight? Hope you're feeling well. All right, let's play. This one is called 13 Cocktails by Dan Bowden. we have an option to download that one. I think we're gonna pass. I don't know how that fits into jazz and blues. There was something about jazz and blues that I'm not aware of. Maybe it's kind of new age jazz and blues. All right. So for those of you that are interested, the phone lines are open, 202-815-1171. Joey, why don't you call? I've got the banco definition according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary if you want to call and make your pitch on that. Because that's the text message that he sent me. I suppose I could call Marilyn back. Who wants to do that? That's always fun. Marilyn. Let's see. Should we call Marilyn? Let's vote in the room. Do you want me to call Marilyn? Vote in the room, yes or no? Da, 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 da. Yeah, it was kind of creepy, Paul, wasn't it? Sounded like something like the alien visits, abduct human kind of music. W says it was progressive jazz. I'm let's see, do I want to say I'm a fan of jazz, but it's that like, because my mother played it on the Victrola, as we used to call it, the record player. And she played that it's like 50s and 60s jazz. And my dad played the clarinet. So I don't know. Let's see, 50. I don't know what those numbers are. Yes, caller. Yeah, the music sucks, Shadow. That's right. All right. So she did go through leaving us a message. Let's call her and see what she has to say. I don't know. Where she's in California, she may not answer.
Hello?
Marilyn, it's Toby on A Gypsy's Kiss, Saturday Night Church of the Search. What are you up to?
Well, hi, Toby. I didn't think you were having the show tonight.
Well, I was having a show, and then we had a technical failure.
Okay.
But I corrected the failure, and I felt like I needed to have a show because I promised one.
Great. Okay,
And
great.
honestly, it's Saturday night, and I'm on lockdown, so why not?
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Okay. Did you play the second message?
I didn't. I only played the first one that said you have all kinds of things to share.
If you'll play the second one, we need to lighten things up.
Well, I can't now. We're on the phone.
Oh, you can't now? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Do you want me to tell you what it is?
No, I want you to go back to the first one. I'm interested in what you have to say about the first one. You're ready to share some clues, it said.
Okay. Gosh, okay, let me like back in the
Do you want me to hang up and call you back in 15 minutes so you can get
Yeah, because I didn't know you were on. But play the other one. I was showing what it is. Here's entertainment. Okay, it's a kind of a spoof. I just show you there's another side of me.
You're showing me that there is another side of you.
A humorous side of me.
As opposed to what? As opposed to what?
We're just, we're discussing a lot of, deep, heavy load, shall we say, and we're going through a lot as a society right now with everything. Anyway, I did that, but I do want to share the 306090 with you. But if you would you want to hang out for just a second and then play that, and then call me back in about 5 minutes?
I won't guarantee that I'll play it because I haven't heard it, and I don't I don't like playing voicemails without having heard them first. Okay. So, but I will call you back in 5 minutes, or unless somebody calls, and then it might be later than that. All right?
Okay.
I'll talk to you in a bit.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. Marilyn wants to be called back in a bit. Okay, Joey Perro, I'm calling you on this other thing. By the way, if you don't want to keep calling, and get a busy signal, or it actually sends you to voicemail, just send me a text message and let me know you want me to call you, and I will. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty good, and you?
I'm doing okay.
So
hanging in there.
This is our friend Joey Perro from New York. He's a trumpet player and an actor in
That's
NYC.
me.
All right, so I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to this Merriam-Webster dictionary of banco, which to me is odd because banco is a Spanish word. I didn't know they had English definitions for it. All right, hang on. Hang on.
Sure,
I got to share the screen here. And I have to Logitech webcam. Oh, there I am. Well, that's good. And the background. There's the old studio background. Let's see what I can do here. Ugh. Okay. All right. Banco. I'm looking at it right now. Tell me what's so important about this definition of banco. There's 3 entries. Which one are we focused on?
Well, for me, the interesting one was number 3. And Fenn did say he looked up all those words from the poem, and a lot of them have multiple meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 was interesting, and, he entitled that chapter, My Father on the Banco.
Well, let me read the definition that I'm looking at, and then you put that all together for us, all right? Ready?
Sure.
So it says, banco, noun. It's the second of 2 bancos that are noun. Definition of banco, entry 3 of 3, a portion of the floodplain or channel of a river cut off and left to dry by the shifting of its course. Is that the one that you were working on?
Yes.
Okay. So as Ricky used to say, splain.
Well, I think, his father is principal, according to him.
Yeah.
A portion of a floodplain or channel of a river cut off and left dry by the shifting of its course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a possible connection to where warm waters halt there. And especially since, principal can also mean first, and it can also mean it also obviously means his father was the principal, quite literally. But principal and first clue just got me thinking that this might be not only a definition here, but a description of where warm waters halt. And if a channel is cut off, those waters have halted, if that makes sense.
So, okay, that I get that. That makes sense. The question I suppose I have for you is describe to me in a narrative way what you think was happening. Describe to me what was happening in that chapter, Father on the Banco.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I switched to my phone, sorry.
Okay.
In the chapter, he feels guilty because, his father made less money, or, took him years to pay off his $20,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
And, Forrest could make that in a couple of days or a day in one sale.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing to me is, this chapter is obviously about his father, but the interesting thing to me is that he puts so much emphasis on using the word banco and using it as a Spanish term, but, he's implying that he's talking about his father on the idea of money. His father's on the banco. But looking that word up, I found different definitions that maybe Forrest intended to put in there to try to describe something.
So
that, yeah.
So are you interpreting the Spanish word banco to incorporate the English definition or the English translation for bank?
I think that's why he said that. I think that's why he named the chapter My Father on the Banco, because at first glance, it looks like he's just using a Spanish word to talk, for his father to talk about his bank or his money. But if you look deeper, there's a definition about something in geography. So that was my thought. I thought that was maybe a hint or something that could be a clue to where warm waters halt and what kind of geography we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, I have a photograph of Fenn's den. He's sitting there. It's something recent because I remember this. He's got Willie. I don't know where it came from, but so that's Fenn in his den with his fireplace over to his desk remains in the same place. The bookshelves behind him. The entrance to the den he's looking in that direction, but a banco is I don't know what they call this in English. What do they call this in English? This thing right here where the fireplace is. So his father was sitting on that. That's a banco.
In Spanish?
In Spanish.
Okay.
So his father was sitting there casually. They were probably having a conversation. Fenn's sitting in his chair. They're talking. Somebody walks in, hands Fenn a check for, what was it, 30K, 15K, something like that.
A lot.
Yeah. Fenn turns away from his father to conduct this business transaction, and then they have this conversation that makes Fenn feel less than fulfilled.
Well, we talked the other night about the double and triple entendres, and you actually were challenging me on the quadruple entendre, if that's actually a word. But, I think you're going to find that in the book. You're going to find double and triple entendres in order to hide and code these things for the right person to figure out. But this is just one thing that stood out to me. Why would he use a Spanish word?
Because his house is New Mexican architecture, right? There are
he hated Spanish class.
There are hearths, as everyone has reminded me. There are hearths in houses that are not Santa Fe style, right?
Right.
The reason that style of that picture, and I'll go back to you. There's actually logic behind it. His architecture is Adobe style architecture, right? You can see how thick the walls are right here. That's Adobe style architecture. And one of the things about Adobe style architecture is whenever they made a fireplace, they made it in the shape of inside it's shaped like a cone, conical. And the reason it's shaped like a cone is because it was expected that every fire in a traditional Santa Fe house would be used for cooking purposes, right? And the banco wasn't necessarily placed there to be sat upon. It was there so that you could put your dishes down while you were cooking, et cetera, et cetera. But that style of fireplace that you're looking there with the banco is very much a Santa Fe style, Adobe style feature.
Is it usually referred to as a banco?
Yeah, it's always referred to as a banco.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So those definitions in English, there are two more.
Yeah.
And I mean they're brief, obviously, but I remember looking that up and saying, geez, well, that kind of matches the idea of my solve.
Yeah.
The fact that he put that in, and the fact that Forrest, if he titled a chapter, he probably looked up the words. Just a thought, we can never second guess him. And
so in this case, I'm going to slightly disagree with you, and the reason is he wouldn't have to look up this word. He designed, he had this house designed to his own requirements, right? And when they put that fireplace in that location, they built it above ground. Most hearths, if you grew up with a hearth in other than a colonial house, are at ground level, right? There's the hearth and the fireplace. But that's because you didn't live in a house where you were expected to be cooking. So he took these traditional Hispanic additions The horno shape, the conical shape that I described to you, that's a Native American shape. That's a Native American cooking shape.
So Toby,
what?
Let me ask you this. Now that's his home, but I believe that chapter takes place in his Fenn galleries.
Correct
me if I'm wrong, but
you're probably right. But the Fenn galleries were in traditional Santa Fe style as well.
Okay, and there was definitely a banco.
I don't know. It sounds to me like they were in his office. So
if he's painting a picture of the scene.
Yeah.
You know,
here's what I can assure you of: that if he's painting a picture of a scene in his office and he uses the word banco, that means that very likely in that office there was a conical shaped fireplace with that lip, that style of hearth around it.
So that would be kind of like the word bank in a way. Is that what the translation is? A small bank, like not like a financial bank, but bank of like
the edge of a river, like the bank on the side of the river.
Right.
Hang on. Let's see what they say. Let's see what they say.
Thanks for taking the time to discuss this. It's something that I saw
so
the
your
definition
three choices are banco. It can be a bank, but it can also be orilla. That's an edge. A bateria, like a bank of batteries. A banca, which is a bench. But it translates into bench. Bench is banco, escalano, tribunal, estrado, and then it's a shoal. So I think the shoal would probably fit with, but a banco, when somebody's in a house and you point to the fireplace and they say banco, that's the bench part of that fireplace.
Gotcha.
Right. But it can also be used. I mean, the primary translation they gave back to me was bank for banco, which is correct. El Banco de Santa Fe.
So again, I think that maybe there's a double or triple entendre in that statement. I mean, number one, he's discussing money.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, his father's sitting there, and possibly number three is the description of that floodplain,
mm-hmm.
that dried up floodplain.
Yeah.
So that was just a thought. Like I said, that's just not one thing in this crazy chase. That's many, and Fenn uses neologisms all the time, which are made up words.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you the Shelley question.
Yeah.
How does that get you closer to the treasure?
The fact that it discusses his father, the fact that his father is principal, the fact that it describes something to do with water
mm-hmm.
and the absence of water drying up where water halts.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I kind of drew the conclusion. And again, he's a wise old old man, and he's full of trickery. And I'm never surprised of him describing things and using double entendres
mm-hmm.
and triple entendres. So it's some research I did. He told us to look up the definitions of words.
Yeah.
He said that in his book, and he said that in interviews. So I did. And that's what I came up with. But I haven't really heard that word discussed too much. There are a couple of oddly worded chapters as far as the chapter titles. And it just drew my attention. I thought it was cool enough to at least bring up. It may be a rabbit hole, it may not.
So
but for myself, it kind of works with this description of where warm waters halt.
Besides my father on the banco, what other chapters do you think are oddly worded?
Off the top of my head, No Place for Biddies equates No Place for the Meek. Let me go through in my head here. My Spanish Toy Factory. It kind of, I think that basically lumps the Spanish teacher and his marbles into one thing. Let's see.
So I'm going to tell you my two.
Epilogue, the fact that he used epilogue.
As opposed to what?
Like epic log. And I know a lot of searchers think that it's within a log or buried within a tree stump.
As opposed to,
so the fact that he chose to use epilogue.
That's what is not unusual, a name for the final chapter in a book?
Not at all. Not at all. But, if you're going to put together a multi-million-dollar treasure search, everything is vital. Everything is necessary as far as putting it together and making it right so that people could decode it, or the right person could decode it.
Yeah.
So it's just a thought, Toby. I know there's none of us can claim to be right because we all don't have the treasure chest, but we're here to discuss different things and ideas and thoughts and research that we found. And I think that that was one thing that just stood out to me enough to make me call in or send you that link.
Well, it was a good link, and I'm glad that you did call in because, as we said last night, there is a value to everyone's opinion except for that one guy who apparently that doesn't have a belly button. So I'm not going to be able to use that anymore. Thank you.
Well, I know what you meant.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We all have one and they all stink.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for going through the trouble of providing the research. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Toby. Have a great night. Thanks for the music, man. Beautiful.
I'm glad that you like it. Even YouTube can do something right sometimes.
Definitely. I think that last tune was like more trance than jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
13 Cocktails.
That first one you played, man, I wish I had a live band playing that with a margarita on the beach.
Yeah, no, that's what it sounds like, right? That's kind of what it sounds like. That's exactly.
We could all use a margarita on a warm beach right now.
Yeah, yeah. Just, if nothing else, to be out of our houses. So.
Definitely. Well, thanks for taking my call, Toby. I won't take up any more of your time. And,
my pleasure. Thanks for.
I hope everyone out there's doing well tonight.
I think they are. They're having a good time in the chat room. We were a little bit late, but everybody's doing okay.
Excellent. Have a great night, Toby. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
Peace.
Joey Peril, ladies and gentlemen, a trumpet player, an actor from New York City, and he came through here. I don't know. God, it's got to be about 6 months ago. He was coming through with the I can never remember what these are called. The traveling Broadway show. There's one word that Shelley reminds me of that represents the traveling Broadway show of Jesus Christ Superstar. It was their anniversary. I can't remember the number, but he came through as a member of the orchestra. So. He's a neat guy, and he's going to send me a link to a movie that he and some of his friends were in, and they just released it, and they decided not to release it in theaters. They decided to release it online, and they did very, very well. So he's going to send me a link to that, and maybe we'll play it. We'll have a little Saturday night movie thing to play that. All right, let's go back to music. In the meantime, if you want me to call you, send me a text message. I'll eventually call Marilyn back because it's obvious that she wants to talk about something. So we'll let her do that. So while you guys are listening to this, I think I'm going to refresh my drink. I'll be right back. Marilyn, it's Toby. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, I just listened to the last caller, and if you could just start there, because I think I can explain to you what banco means.
Banco, you're going to translate it for me, or why it's in the book?
The book.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm writing this down.
I don't know Spanish, okay?
It's all right.
I can count to 10. My friends laugh at me and say, well, I can count to 10 in Spanish. Okay, so they were testing, they laugh. What I explained a little while ago was about the isosceles triangle.
Mm-hmm.
And what the banco is. Banco, when I believe I'm being shown these things, not that I have any intelligence, the banco is the bench, and the bench is like the benchmark map, which confirms that it's a triangle. And we're going to look where that on the map, we're going to try to find that triangle so we can find out the treasure. In the center of that triangle is the treasure.
So, the implication of what you're saying is that this somehow the IT in the poem stands for isosceles triangle.
Yes. Uh-huh.
At the time he wrote and published the poem, there was no benchmark map. Right.
Okay.
The benchmark map didn't come until The Thrill of the Chase, about 3 years later, right around 3 years later. So how are you tying those two together?
I'm tying it together from a visual. Now that you ask, I have to go back and look. So
no. I mean, I'm only asking because it sounds to me like you're making a connection that doesn't deserve to be made, and I don't want you to go off and on a wild goose chase when there's nothing there.
No problem. I just see it that way. There's other things in the book.
Yeah.
That basically say triangle, and the way I'm looking at it. Okay.
So if I remember correctly, the word "it" is the single most often used word in the poem.
I'm not sure about that, but I believe that is the word that will unlock the understanding of the poem and how you use it. Begin at where warm waters halt, take it in the canyon. But you're getting two sets of directions here. That's what's a little bit confusing. It's
all right. So let's go back. I'm gonna keep pressing this issue.
Oh, that's okay.
Because it can be interpreted into anything: the journey, the treasure, the adventure, etc., etc.
Okay.
And I believe I'm correct in saying that it is the most often used, single used word in the poem.
Okay.
So how did you get from it, the word is it a pronoun, to isosceles triangle?
Well, he refers to a lot of rhymes in the poem. I mean, you rhyme a lot of words. It's just kind of a word puzzle. I can't explain it, but the gentleman that just called, he said, is like, it's not just one thing. It's probably 10. It's maybe it's very. It's
well, he only went as high as 4. You're taking it way beyond what he said.
Okay. I just maybe I can't explain that, but I can see it in other ways. But that's the way I see it. Okay. Maybe I can't verbalize it very well. I'm sorry about that.
So where does it and the isosceles triangle get you to?
It gets you to the treasure. But to do that, you have to back up and say, well, now, okay, it's a map, but how do I look at this map? From what POV, from what point of view? And you have to really back it up, and then you say, oh, what's this deal about the skylight in the shower? Okay, what does that mean? And I believe what he's telling you, we're going to back this up to the universe. We're going to look at it from a satellite. So here we go. Let's see if we can find that triangle. We're looking down and saying, we're searching for we're Googling it. We're going to Google it. Okay. So then we're up in the sky and say, well, what do we see when we're up here? Okay. So then he tells you that geography is a very important part of this poem. And why would he tell you that? Because it must be a very important part. So he's looking down, and then he starts telling you, he starts in the book, Was I 79 or was I 80 when I hit, or he keeps referring to 7, 9, or 8. Okay. Well, what does that mean? What I believe that means is he's looking down to different continents. How many continents are there?
7.
Look it up. Google it. It's kind of interesting. I mean, he's looked at every word. He has this thing. So he everything he's done, it's for a reason. He really, I believe, is an inspired genius. I really do.
Well, we're not. Nobody's going to disagree with you on that. Right.
Okay.
We all have to. Everybody has a sense of the necessity to look for this treasure believes that this whole process was invented by a genius, right? Well, that's our opinion. We have necessarily no evidence of that, but one can say just based on what you know, it's a genius. But the question I have to keep asking is, how does this help? So Forrest Fenn is a genius. How does that help me? And I'm just being
because he's gonna take you right to that treasure, right to that. We don't have to search for it. He's taking you to the exact location.
So based on what you know right now, I'm not going to ask you where it is, but based on what you know right now, do you with your team could you provide your team a set of coordinates that would lead them directly to where the treasure is placed, is hidden?
Yeah, yes, I believe I can. It's not a search.
So
to recovery.
So they're not. Your team is not going to be searching for the treasure. They will simply go to recover the treasure. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now that flies in the face of everything that he said about this. He's never. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to test you on that. Okay. So I've never heard him say. He said. I think I'll go as close as what he said that compares to what you're proposing. He said that the person that finds the treasure will have gone there with confidence. Are you that person? Is that what you're saying?
I am that person.
Oh.
Not that I'm very special, but where I believe I've received that knowledge. Okay. Yes. And he says, you will go with confidence and you will know where it is because you have unraveled the clues.
So have you actually unraveled these clues?
Yes.
Can you go to your location, boots on the ground, and you can point to where warm waters halt, followed by the canyon down, followed the distance and or direction, not far but too far to walk, no place for them. You know all of those things. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And you can identify them once you're boots on the ground.
Yes. Once I'm boots on the ground, I can stand at a particular point and point out all of the locations he has described in the book. Once you kind of unravel how he's doing it. And within that one vantage point, you can see not all the clues, but almost all of the clues.
So the other night we talked a little bit, and you said you agreed with me that there are 9 clues in the poem, beginning where warm waters halt and take it down to look quickly down your quest to see. We can agree on that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
All right. However, I want to ask you how many other things, whether they are hints or clues, and maybe I probably need to ask you your definition of that. How many other things, like hints or clues, have you found in the book outside of the poem?
Hundreds. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I see. And back to when he's taking its vantage point from a satellite, actually backs up farther than that, like to the universe, but I'm kind of started at the satellite. And when you're looking down, he divides up the hemispheres and the continents. But it's kind of funny on the continents because there's your 7, 8, 9, because I always thought there were 7 continents, but if you look it up, it's all the same about 7, 8, or 9. So it's kind of funny,
All right, now I'm going to Google how many continents are there.
Okay.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd have to look it up or whatever. Okay.
Okay. The response from Google is there are 7 continents, Africa, I won't go. We know what they are. There's someone says, what are the 8 continents? And argument could be made that Oceania is a separate continent due to differences between the nations that make it up, and Australia. So there's an argument that could be made there are 8 continents, although Oceania is not really a continent, it's just a series of islands, right? So which one of those definitions, the as Joey would call the double entendre, which one of those definitions did you use? Are there 7 or 8 continents?
Well, it's if you start reading all the way through that, it's like it's up in the air as far as Google is concerned, the way they describe it. So he's just telling you, he's telling you this is how I'm showing you. And then, I mean, it's just really, it's very fascinating to me. It's very intricate and it's fun. And to confirm that it's it, hey, he makes a lot of jokes and I never gave him credit anyway. Well, that's not true. You have to understand Forrest. Forrest, if you're listening, I love you, guy. You really, I think you have made something that will go down into history.
So, have you met Forrest Fenn?
No, I would love to talk to him. And so anyway, to continue. Now this is my bias confirmation, and it's not boots on the ground; it's boot on the ground. Ooh, where do I see a boot? And I'm like, oh, it's Italy. Hey, there's Italy. It's Italy. And it's just a fascinating poem. Okay. But then he does all these other things. He gets you down to the street, the number, longitude, latitude, altitude. But he goes all these, and he tells you all. I think he wants you to learn all these things and all these books, and it's just.
So do you have a geographically precise? In terms of latitude and longitude, do you have a geographically precise location for the treasure?
Yes.
And did that come out of the book, or did you imagine that?
It's out of the book.
So you were able to get degrees. Degrees, minutes, and seconds of latitude. Yes. And longitude from the book.
Yes. In fact, that's kind of taken it where I'd like to show you, but I believe I've been showing you that you would know much more about than I do. Okay.
And who has shown you this?
My creator, I believe. Okay.
Right. So we don't want to get into that part of this
discussion. Okay. That's okay. Because anyway, would you like to hear 306090?
I'd rather hear 369, but I'll listen to 306090.
Okay, it's 369, but it's like kind of translates into 306090. And what this is, okay. Bear with me so I can try to explain it. This is a theory that Nicholas Tesla, the Tesla car.
Wait. Nicholas Tesla and the Tesla car are literally there's no connection whatsoever. None.
I disagree.
All right. Well,
you're rhyming things, okay? So that's how you get there. So anyway, Nicholas Tesla.
I know who Nicholas Tesla is.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I've heard of the car, but I never heard of his life. And it's quite the amazing story.
The Tesla was named by the founder of that company in honor of Nicholas. Nicholas Tesla didn't know that doesn't know, because he passed away years and years ago,
right.
that the Tesla car exists. There is no connection there. You're inventing a connection that doesn't exist.
I would suggest maybe you look up Tesla files. There's a whole series. I mean, I was kind of shown to look this up because I didn't know anything about this. I've heard of the car. I never heard really of the man. But there's quite a story there. So maybe, I don't know if you are ready to listen to it. Maybe, I don't know. So if you don't believe that there's one, then maybe I shouldn't go there. I believe there is one.
All right. So I'm willing to listen. What do you believe is the connection between Nikola Tesla, who died in 1943, and the Tesla car that we know today?
Well, when I was trying to explain the word puzzle, he fits names together, like Nikolai
Fashion.
That's what the name was. And
Fashion.
Then he takes, okay, you know more about this pronunciation than I do. He's taken that name and he's joined it with somebody else that will, that you can match that up with, which is Nicholas. How do you pronounce it on a car, Tesla?
Tesla. Nikola Tesla.
Okay. And what I believe I was being shown is, and I've never heard of this. Are you familiar with the 30-60-90 theory?
Am I familiar with it? No, I've used 369. The only interest 369 had to me was that he used that combination of numbers on a regular basis. And
right.
As a result, Michael Hool, my friend, gave me the searcher coin with that serial number on it. But other than that, I don't have a theory based upon it.
Can I digress for a second here? This Michael Hool, is that his name?
Michael Hool, that's right.
Is he the one that I don't know the people on the search. I'm very new to the search. Is he the one that did the thing on ADD? Do you know?
On ADZ, a combination of letters?
No, like ADD, the illness, attention deficit disorder.
Not that I'm aware of. He is a college professor by training and application. I don't think he has anything to do with that.
Is he the one that's in Canada or something?
No, he's in Japan.
Okay.
So he has a couple of passports, one of which is Canadian, but he lives and works in Japan.
I'm not sure, but I think that's the one who that I saw this thing on ADD, which if I have a disability, I am, and he did kind of a show on that and was explaining what he had dealt with. And I am ADD to the XXXXX degree, and it's all a totally different way of looking at things. And anyway, I would love to speak
So do you think someone that has attention deficit disorder has an advantage in finding the treasure?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think?
And it's
what is it about ADD that gives you a unique advantage?
It's something that I used to hate, and I thought to me this is a curse and not a blessing. I hate this. Why am I different? Why do I see things? Why is it I want to be a writer and I can't write? However, I challenged my creator a long time ago. That's what this whole new puzzle that's just so incredible is about.
So a couple of folks in the chat room say that Michael did a video saying he has ADD.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Then he was the one could probably explain it a lot better, but I think I have some explanation for that says basically the people are in the search. I'm being shown that these are people that maybe they perhaps have it, and they really have an advantage over so many others.
The people in the search,
a lot of them
who have ADD.
They may not know they have, but they have this ability. Maybe they sound like they're kind of out there, but they really almost have a genius that I didn't know what it was, and I hated it until I challenged my creator. What is this? I hate this. Why am I different? This is horrible. This is a curse. show me the worth of this worthless talent. I wrote a screenplay about it. It's called Carousel.
Uh-huh.
But in this, my quest, and this is my quest that took 11 years. I said, why am I different? Why? I don't want to be different. The crazy disability for me is that I want to write, but I couldn't put a sentence together. I mean, I couldn't understand it, but I could snap out a rhyme and tell you exactly what I meant in a rhyme, but nobody really, I mean, I went for a, I get emotional again. Sorry. I'm trying, for this interview to be with a writer. Now, mind you, I have no formal education, but I have something that's really different. And he read one of my scripts, and he was like, oh my, I mean, he really realized that I don't have very many talents. Writing is my talent.
Mm-hmm.
As you can tell, speaking is definitely not my talent.
So
okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah, I don't want us to get too off. We've got a few minutes left here.
Okay.
So let's get back to what we were talking about.
Okay. So tell me where to start. Would you like to hear about what I believe that this search community, this genius they have amongst them? I mean, that I believe are a team that we could get together and we could share.
I want you to tell me
okay.
what you're going to do
mm-hmm.
When you recover the treasure with your team, and how that's going to benefit you. How is that going to make a difference to your life?
As I said before, I have a story. I think we all have a story to tell. I have a story to tell that cannot even be hard. It's a story that has to be told.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story of my life. It's not anything it's something I've witnessed that must be documented.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrific, but yet it has a wonderful, wonderful outcome. And that's a book that I have to write, but maybe I think I'm being shown that's where I need to explain some of these things so you'll know, and perhaps someone will listen.
So let's talk about that for just a minute, right? So you have all this inside you. You have you believe a special insight that has been provided to you by who you refer to as your creator, and you're calling me. Why aren't you doing this on your own channel or your own blog or your own? Because it seems to me like whatever it is inside of you, that which is inside of you is telling you that it needs to get out. I mean, that's why we've had now 3 of these 20+ minute conversations.
Yes, this is because I have had no voice. I have been silenced. I have no voice. This is the second time I've had a voice. And every time I start to try to explain it, I am cut down.
Who cut you down?
I'm trying to figure out how to explain this, okay? But whenever you ask me about the COVID-19 virus, okay, I never saw the connection until you asked me that question and how it would relate to the research I did years ago. I thought it had no connection. And I think I'm being shown that I need to explain this solve so that I can gain credibility. So I think the search team is a team that can go out and solve this problem of the COVID virus. I think I'm being shown what's going on with
it. So when you sit down with your search team and you start explaining this, so my perception is that we have two things that you have to accomplish. This is my opinion, right?
Okay.
One is you have to somehow release all of this material that's inside of you, however you do it, whether it's your own YouTube channel, whether it's on that. And then there's another part that's the directions you would give to your search team to go recover the treasure, because and those are two different things.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Okay.
And we're not, so, a lot of me wants to just hear volume 2, which is where do you go to get the treasure? Not that I want you to share that with me, but right. I keep wondering whether or not that part of all this exists. Because over 3 now 20-minute plus telephone calls, what I've heard is all the stuff that's inside of you that you feel like you need to get out for whatever reason. I think one of the reasons now, you just mentioned it, is that you've always, up until now, you've always been cut off. And that phrase, cut off, can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. But I know when someone uses that term, what they're trying to say.
Right.
So the question I have for you is, what are you and I doing? What are we doing here? What we've had, we're going on 60 minutes worth of conversation. That's as much time I give to one of my clients. What are you and I doing here?
I am trying to show you to solve so that I can have credibility to show you some things that are even better for the good.
All right. So I've got to ask this question.
Okay.
Is one of your objectives to I don't even know how to say this. Is one of your objectives to transform me from whatever I am to whatever you are in terms of beliefs?
No.
Because that's not going to work. That's not going to happen. You know that.
No, that is no.
And we have to accept that. I accept what you are and what you believe in. Right.
We are all individuals,
right.
And we're the sum total of our experiences in life.
So what is it that you want me to transform into then?
I'm not trying to change anyone. I'm just trying to I'm seeking truth myself and wisdom. And I believe I can, the connection I had not made until you asked that question about the COVID virus. I didn't think there was a connection with what my understanding was and the virus. I think if I can show you, we can, and this is together. I'm not on my own. I believe this community is a community that has all been gifted with something that we could, as I see it, that we could put our gift together.
All right. So.
And solve that.
All right.
The problem of COVID virus.
So here's where we're at for the moment.
Okay.
If you believe that you have been granted by your creator with a unique sight that gives you the ability to determine where this treasure that Fenn hid resides in order for you and your team to recover it, it strikes me that this period in time, which to me is a historical inflection point, because everything's going to change.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it can always change in one of two ways. It can change for the worse, or it can change for the better.
You're right.
And if I was you with a set of beliefs that you have, I would want to believe that all of this has been revealed to me so that I could impact this change for the better.
Yes. Yes. It's like Tiffany glass. It's like our society. Sometimes things have to be reset. Sometimes things need to be we need to have time to just think about where we are, and the fact that we're all being held hostage in our own homes by a virus that we can't see.
Mm-hmm.
That's wrong.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
What is the bad news?
This isn't the last one.
I believe that too, but
all right.
I also believe that I don't have the knowledge, but I'm seeking the knowledge. And I think that this community of searchers could make a mark in history with the gifts that they have.
Well, the problem that you'll have with that is that only one will recover of all the community of searchers. Only one of them is going to recover the treasure.
I'm willing to have even you go and pick it up.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Anybody, whoever,
yeah.
Who.
Yeah, that's something that you want to share with somebody else.
I mean,
all right.
I'm just putting it out there. Okay, well.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too. God bless.
Thank you for the conversation, and I'm sure we'll do this again sometime.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye now. Let's see. Ken from Oklahoma says, reminds me of who Tesla said. Toby, don't. Oh, okay. Okay. And somebody, no, I don't think that's true. I think that's. Phone lines are open. 202-815-1171. I think we're going to have to shoot for 11 o'clock finish tonight, simply because it's late. Sarah, so I get a sense in some ways, Sarah, you and I have, you and Shelley and your husband and I have sat around and talked. I remember having dinner in which we talked. And you did go on. And you talked about a lot of different things. I tried to wrap it up. Hey, it's Toby. What are you up to, Rio Grande Joe? Your name was mentioned several times.
Oh, was it?
Tonight, yeah.
I was out fishing, so I didn't know. I just got in.
Oh, okay. Fishing, trout fishing? Where the hell are you trout fishing at this time?
Oh, just a little pond out here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's in the pond? Is it warm water species or cold water species?
Yeah, warm.
All right.
I was listening to.
So I'm really sorry because Marilyn used up most of your time, so you only have 3 minutes.
3? Oh, that's fine. That's all I need.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me what you're going to tell me.
I was just listening to her, and it gets worse as it goes on.
No, okay. So
I mean, for me.
All right. So
not for anybody else.
Yeah. So I don't think there is any worse. She certainly has what I would call a unique take on this.
Right.
She's resolved it in herself, like we all do, right?
Yeah, right.
We all do. Some of them are. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard theory that's as complex as this. But
it could be true. But this coming week,
right.
There's no snow, so
you're going to go get it.
Might as well.
Okay.
Might as well. And I'll tell you where warm water halts tonight. That way.
Okay. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at something that Sarah just wrote in the room. All right. So tell me, and by association, the other 158 members in the room, where warm waters halt.
Yeah, that way, if you can beat me to it, that's fine. But I should be there midweek. I'm
really?
Just a couple hours away.
So didn't you get some snow? We got snow at the beginning.
It's already melted.
Oh,
where
it did?
I'm at.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the mountain from you.
No, we've had 3 or 4 70-degree days. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's findable now.
All right, I got my notebook out. Go ahead. Tell me where it is.
Okay.
And if you say it has anything to do with the New Mexico fishing regulations,
it doesn't.
All right, good. All right.
It doesn't.
Don't be stealing my stuff.
No, I'm not stealing yours. It's
Let me label this one Rio Grande Joe. All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. He said start it where warm waters halts.
No. He didn't say that. He said, begin it. This is the same thing. It drives me crazy when people say start it more. He didn't say that.
I know.
And he didn't say it's the House of Brown. All right.
It's the home of Brown. There's another, well, I'll tell you the home of Brown later, but warm waters halt.
Yeah, begin at where warm waters halt.
Begin at where warm waters halt. We're living in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And if warm water halts, what's the something else that starts?
Cold water.
Right.
Or hot water, depending.
Well, no, because warm water is already behind you.
Okay, this is starting to sound like the New Mexico fishing regulations.
No, you're going to start it there at warm water halt. So what comes up next is the opposite. Cold water starts.
So you're going with the,
and you have to marry that to a map.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a place in New Mexico that you can find it on a map. I'm not going to tell you where. You probably already know.
What the heck?
But it's so easy. I mean, it doesn't. Everybody else is in a bind over it, and it's just that easy.
Well, the one that's the obvious thing is the water being released from the bottom of the dam, because the cold water settles to the bottom of the reservoir, and whatever is released at the bottom of the dam is always colder than the water that's inside the reservoir. You're not doing that whole dam thing, are you?
No, it's not in the dam.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, this is on.
All right. Well, let's do it this way.
This is on flat ground.
Yeah. What is the nearest New Mexico town? I guess it's the best way.
Well, there's 3 around there, so that's the 3 biddies. They're around there.
3 biddies. All right. Give me just one of them then. One of the biddies.
One of the biddies is where y'all had that interview with him. In what was it, 2013? At the bookstore that's not there anymore. That town.
Taos?
That's one of them.
And then there's 2 others.
So there's 2 others. Well, they're up north, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely up north. That's good.
Yeah, but that one clue, if you can find it on a map, which you said marry it to a map, that's one of the clues, and the rest of them's around there close by.
So my only problem with that Taos area is there's a whole bunch of tribal property both east and west of Taos.
Well, that chest is worth more than wherever it is. You just got to go in there and get it. Doesn't matter where it is.
So
that's why you got to be brave.
And in the wood.
In the wood, which the woods is not trees.
So can you give me a specific date when you're going to get it? Today's the 18th.
Sometime.
Today's the 18th. So 7 days would be the
next 3 or 4 days.
So 7 days would be the 25th. My next show is on Wednesday, so that would be 19th.
If all the pointers are right, I'll get it. If they're not,
okay.
I won't get it.
So I've got a show on the 22nd.
Yeah.
That gives you 4 days.
Okay.
Can you have it by then?
I'll call you in and tell you I didn't get it, or it was there and everything was there.
You know what I don't want to hear?
What's that?
That you found a hole where it was.
Well, there's a creek there. It's a bunch of holes, but
yeah,
I just got to find the spot that it's at.
So
I got to find the paddle down the creek.
So
not up the creek.
So geology is a category, right? Anthropology is a category. Archaeology is a category. Just tell me what category your blaze falls into. What category? What if I was registering for a class at
that's
college?
Partly that's man-made, like you said. It lasts 100 years.
Man-made.
Yeah, the blaze.
The blaze is man-made. I would find that very disappointing if I went and I found all these clues, and then I had somebody's bad imitation of a Rodin or something.
Well, he told you you'd be surprised and be laughing at yourself.
Oh, okay. All right. That kind of surprise, huh?
Yeah, he's gonna. That's why he was laughing when he was walking back, because he had his little flashlight and he could see the blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's a good hint. I hadn't called. I've heard all your shows, but I just hadn't called in. I've been traveling up and down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be trapped in here like a rat.
Well, your timing is perfect because pretty soon you'll be able to get that. That check from the government is coming.
Oh,
it'll pay
maybe.
Pay for
I don't
your
know
trip.
if it will or not.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the collection.
Yeah. So, what's the plan after you recover the treasure?
Well, we'll turn it into cash.
Who is we?
If you want to, you can, or if you don't, I will, or whatever. I've been in auctions all my life.
In order for me to get the most, to monetize it at the highest level, it has to remain completely intact.
With the bracelet.
With a bracelet and an unopened olive jar. Can you do that?
Oh, I don't want to open it.
Okay. You're like me. You just want
I don't care about the
cash.
The memoir or whatever.
Yeah, well, we can send him a picture or something.
Yeah. And if he wants the bracelet real bad, well, I'll trade him for his belt buckle.
And for my effort in monetizing this for you, what is my percentage in all this?
Oh, it'll be pretty good.
No. Don't give me a pretty good. I want to hear a number.
I'm not greedy.
A percentage.
I'm not that greedy. I made my first $1 million when I was 49. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it'll be fine.
All right.
You'll pay your house off.
I'll pay that's good. Hey, Kevin Carney, what are you doing in the room? What? I thought you guys were Netflixing and chilling in there. What's Kevin doing in the room?
Yeah, so all the clues, you got to marry them to a map. And, and you have to have a little imagination, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
Without imagination, you can't get them.
Yeah.
His imagination, which is hard to decipher, but you can.
So do you have a theory on the 369? Or is that just me and Marilyn?
Yeah, that's not even. Just the poem and the book's all you need, and if you're smart enough, you could just use a poem.
That almost sounded offensive when you said that.
Well,
because apparently I'm not smart enough.
Well, me neither. I mean, I hadn't got it yet, so I've just got the pointers that point to it and places on a map.
Yeah.
Which I can't find nothing like that on the other states. So if it's not here where I'm looking, I'll just do some more deciphering. But
all right. Well,
the warm water halts where the cold water starts.
Yeah.
If you can put that on a map, where you can find the rest of it.
All right.
I'm giving you a good clue. My salt.
You know what? I am not leaving my house until the coronavirus goes back to wherever it came from. I'm staying right here because I'm comfy.
Yeah. I'm comfy too. That's what I like the most, comfort. Like Fenn says, if you're comfortable, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true because he done made his 30 million.
All right. Well, I am not going to call my friends at Sotheby's until I hear from you.
That's right. Yeah, because
get a couple of selfies with you holding the treasure.
Because right now gold is at about $2,000 an ounce.
Really? What the heck?
Yeah, it's close. It's 18 something. But here in the next week or so, it'll be $2,000.
You think so? Why is it going to go up?
Oh, it's coming up.
Let me see.
Yeah. Nice. So 42 pounds, 16 ounces a pound.
Yeah.
It's pretty good money. It's over $1 million right there, just in weight of gold.
Nobody's going to buy it for the weight of gold. You know why people are going to buy it at auction?
I mean, if you want to be anonymous and not tell nobody, I decided just to keep it.
People are going to buy it at auction because they can afford to buy it at auction. That's why they're going to buy it at auction.
Yeah, we're going to go for them people in, like you said, those sheiks and
Russian oligarchs and Arabic oil sheiks. That's what
they don't care about no $4 or $5 million. They drop that much at lunch every day. You know.
Well, I don't know. Considering the price of oil, they may not be so gracious right now. But
oil's good when it's good, but it's bad when it's bad.
When it's bad. Yeah.
I've been in the oil field for 33 years. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Brother Joe. Okay. Thank you for calling in. And I look forward to hearing from you one way or the other.
One way or the other.
Either way, I look forward to hearing from you on Wednesday.
I'm not going to find an empty hole.
Well, don't come back with any empty hole stories.
No, I'm not that.
Because I will put you on the Barry side of this telephone there, brother.
No, then we'll have to look for something else.
Yeah, well, somebody, that's what I can't tell you. So somebody just shared another treasure hunt with me in Colorado. Now, I haven't looked at it. As a matter of fact, what they asked me to do was share it with Sarah and Brad, because apparently it's out where they did. So let me take a look at this, and I will have some more information for you by the time you don't find this treasure on Wednesday.
Yeah, we got a few in New Mexico that's pretty big. We got Trabuco's gold. We got lots of stuff. If
I remember correctly, I don't have the. It was a letter that I received in the mail today, and I think it was $20 million.
Cash or gold?
In gold.
Oh.
So, but I didn't get a chance. I just opened the email, read the cover letter, who was from one of our viewer friends, and
they got a lot of gold towns up there. You got Black Hawk. You got
this was a treasure lost by
the dime treasure. Yeah, the rare dimes that they printed out in Denver.
No.
They fell over the side of a cliff and never been
that's
found.
not it. And just for that, I'm not going to tell you the story until Wednesday.
I'll let you tell me.
No, it's too late. No, you have to wait till Wednesday. You have to wait till Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday. Yeah. By then I'll tell you my treasure.
Well, and then we can just share treasure hunting stories then on Wednesday.
I'll be wearing the bracelet. Say hello.
Don't mess with the bracelet. You want money, don't mess with anything in there. It needs to be completely intact. That's how it's worth the most.
Intact.
Yeah.
Okay. No more. Once this virus is over, it'll be better. But
you know what? If I have to fly to New York with a mask on, I'll fly to New York with a mask on. So, oops, I lost him. Where'd he go? Chad Maya. All right, well, that was the good Lord's way of my creator's way of saying that it was time for Rio Grande to go to show. So this is Ken in Oklahoma. Toby had this thought about monetizing the Nuggets, free rooms for life, the Golden Nugget casinos. They paid a lot for a hand of. Yeah, there is some of that as an option. Leasing the treasure to someone who would be interested in leveraging it from a marketing perspective. And I think there's something there. I'm the kind of guy that likes the cash out front so I can reinvest the cash. So there's way. And Sarah, I never felt like you were having a starstruck moment. You were an absolute baby doll that night. You were just cute as a buttons, and I'm sure that's why Brad had the foresight to make you his wife, marry you. Wash your hands, Davio. Es muy importante. All right, guys, let me see. Have we got anybody else that left a voicemail just to make sure before we... No, we did good. Did good. Yeah, we're fine. You know what, guys? I think I'm going to wrap it up. So I know we could have gone longer tonight. Because it was simply that kind of night. Price of gold is $1,600. It's not. He's making up stuff. See, this is why he needs me to help him with this stuff, because he's making up stuff. Hang on, let me go see. Yeah, and I'm sure somebody could do an after party. Let's see. Marty says, curious why you would use the BPHS1 instead of a regular dynamic. Isn't that usually for noisy environments? Yeah, the BP. Look at you recognizing my headset. This particular headset is designed for sportscasters. Because it is in a noisy environment. I like it because it produces great sound, because I have to have the headset on anyway, and it frees up my hands for everything. And it does. I've used this particular microphone. I have, let's see, there's mine, there's Shelley's. I have 4 of them. And I've used them in situations where I'm recording interviews or doing a live stream, and I learned to use them when I was doing live streams from trade shows. I used to, I had clients that used me to do podcasts and live streams from trade shows. And I went looking for the best possible solution. There are basically two kinds of solutions. One is this model of Audio Technica, and then they get really expensive after that. It's not Behringer. It's anyway, the who the hell is it? There's another sportscaster model, and I had some of those, but they're $800 a headset, and that was a lot to pay for what we were doing. And I picked it just because it produces great audio. I'm in my house in the one room that's a studio, so it's not an issue associated with noise. I just like the audio that they produce. So that's why I bought it. Thanks for noticing that. You'd have to know your equipment to know that was an Audio Technica. Sarah says, I'm glad to have you as my friends. Thank you, Sarah. We feel the same way. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it if somebody wants to. And Davio, somebody just texted me and said that I stepped on you. I didn't realize. I was just so focused on trying to recover from my earlier faux pas that I didn't know somebody else went on. So if I stepped on your show, I apologize for that. It was not intentional. I was just kind of trying to get a Saturday night show out, okay? Let's see. Angelin says, I've been watching you and Shelley's videos all day. Hug, zap at y'all. Thank you, Angelin. Angelin, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever you've done with She Played Memories. We were talking about something the other night that led me to a conversation about a bar in Santa Fe that used to be called the Bull Ring. It's called the Rio Chama restaurant now, but it used to be called the Bull Ring. It was owned by a gentleman who was a former Thunderbird, Air Force Thunderbird. And so whenever pilots who were flying with the Thunderbirds would come into town, it was always a big party. But the song that I wrote, oh, that's interesting. That had to happen after I was there. So how did I meet Helen? Okay, this is going to be weird because I've got to figure out how the story is. The song that I wrote was based on a relationship I had with a woman whose name was Kaija Oman. And she was kind of a new age hippie at the time. And she was the woman who caused all those memories. So I thought you might like to know that. Anyway, let me know what you're doing with the song. It's a lot of fun, and we ought to do something with it. Maybe we could sell it to somebody and make some money out of it. I don't know. I do have the copyright, so I guess I can do what I want. All right, here we go.
I left my boots and my faded jeans.
This is for you, Daly.
In Mexico, and swap them for a coat and tie, and someplace else to go. I had days that were laced with white lines on narrow blacktop roads, with honky-tonks around the day, and drunken episodes.
Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I will apologize again for the late start. I was surprised by a technical difficulty, and although I was surprised by the technical difficulty, I troubleshot it and we resolved it. So I hope we don't have this happen again. Thanks for joining me tonight. And we'll see you on Monday, I guess, if you join us on COVID Conversations. And then if not, then on Wednesday for Sales Leaders Institute and A Gypsy's Kiss. In the meantime, have a good weekend. Stay safe and avoid getting this virus. Midnight rendezvous, and she played memories of songs that made me blue. So
sweet soft melody that took me back to you. She stripped me bare and read my heart like it was an open book. But tried to lie as always, but her voice is all it took to bring back Sunday morning rides and sunsets by the stream and old grass beds we made love in and dreamed our silly dreams. I drank her words like they were wine and looked into her eyes. She turned her head and walked away, made me realize the longest days and the darkest nights were more than I could face. The only thing that I could do would leave that lonesome place. But she played memories, the kind that leave romance to the dark rhapsodies, the midnight rendezvous. Yeah, she played memories of songs that made me blue, sweet soft melodies that took me back